Hi, my name is Matthew, the Adire guy, and I'll be taking you on the process of tying and dyeing of a fabric. So let me just say the process of the Adire making, the tie and dye making. Any way you know it, any way you call it. So just pick up your pen, pick up all your writing materials, and let us learn. Let us learn. Okay, let's go. Okay, when you say tie and dye, just as the name implies, tie and dye. It's just the process of tying and dyeing of the fabric. That is just the simple definition of tie and dye. So before dyeing, you have to be safety conscious. You have to avoid accidents because yes, accident happens during dyeing process. You have to avoid that. Firstly, you have to get yourself a rubber glove. This rubber glove is to avoid contact with those chemicals. Those chemicals are dangerous to your skin. So contact with the skin might give you an injury. So if you can afford a rubber glove, you can get a surgical glove. Yes, you want to perform a surgery. So and again, you have to get yourself a nose mask because of the smell, the chemical smells. So inhaling those smells can have a damage to your body. It might not be now, it might be later. And sometimes you can get choked with the smell of the chemicals. And you start to cough and cough and cough and cough. It might even just stop the process of your dying. But to avoid stopping the process of your dying, you have to be safety conscious. And again, if you are not dying outside the house and you are dying inside a room, remember to open the windows so the smell of those chemicals can go outside and fresh air can come inside. You get it? So that just don't be scared, don't be scared, don't be scared, don't be scared. If you can follow this safety conscious, if you can follow this safety process, you are good to go. You are good to dye fabrics as much as possible. So let's continue. This is number one material is to get your chemicals. To get all your chemicals. Okay, these are the two chemicals. This one is the caustic soda. The caustic soda looks like a sugar, not for Gary, a sugar. While the hydrosulfite looks like a salt. The texture look like a salt. Then these are the colors. The colors comes in different kind of color. We have blue, yellow, and depending on what color you wish to dye. So those are the chemicals. Then the next thing you'll be needing is I can see a rack. This is not really a rack, but it's something like this. You can use a rack. That's like a fridge rack, or you can use something like this. This is to place your fabric. So in case if you are applying your chemicals, the water can flow down. You get. So that is the main reason for this kind of thing, or a fridge rack or other thing you can place fabric that can allow the the colors to, that's the water, to flow down. And the other thing you'll be needing, you need a bowl, you need a bucket, you need water too. And you need this. Maybe later on during the whole process, I will explain why you'll be needing something like this. Okay, and also you need your, I call it tube. Tube is to apply the chemicals on the fabric. That's after mixture. You apply it. Okay, just look at this. After if your fabric is on your rack and it's to apply it. So that's the reason why you'll be needing this. You can take anything that looks like this, not exactly like this, but just look for something with a mouth that you can use to apply something on fabric. You can use anything, not exactly this. I just got this for myself too, and we are good to go. And also you'll be needing your raffia. Raffia is like a thread. to tie the clothes together. Though sometimes you might not really need it. It's needing a raffia is depending on the kind of design you are doing. And also you'll be needing your rubber. So get yourself a rubber. You'll be needing rubber. So I think that is the whole materials which you'll be needing for your tie and dye process. Now is now time for us to go into the dyeing process. The main reason for this show, dyeing process. So okay, we'll be dyeing a shirt, and part of the materials which you'll be needing is you have to get yourself a shirt or a round neck. It must be cotton, not just any kind of shirt, any kind of rounded neck, any kind of clothes, but make sure that clothes is cotton, because if it's not cotton, it's not the dyeing process we just go on, and at the end of everything is all wasted, because if you are trying to like raise your fabric at the end of the dyeing process, the chemicals will just flow, because the cloth is not a cotton, because it's not cotton materials. So part of the materials which you'll be needing is you must get yourself a cloth of a cotton material cloth. It can be rounded neck, it can be a jacket, it can be a jacket too, but make sure they are all cotton. If you want to go and buy at the market, ask the vendor, it's cotton I want, it's cotton I want. But because sometimes you can, if it's a shirt, you can check the inside of the shirt. There's always a small tag there. It is written there 100% cotton, just to be sure. Or if you go to the market to get a rounded neck, you can also check the collar. The collar, if you can see this tag here, if you look at it closely, you can see that they wrote 100% cotton. So make sure those materials, those fabrics are cotton. If they are not cotton, the dye won't stay on the clothes. That's just the thing, it won't stay. So for you to make it stay, you must get yourself a fabric of 100% cotton. So now let's go into mixing of dye. Then I told you about using this. Using this is like a medium to reduce the usage of dye, because okay, let's this for this tutorial we'll be dyeing a shirt and also a jacket. So instead of mixing all my chemicals in a very big bowl and wasting chemicals, wasting it, so most times to reduce wastage, I uses this peg, I uses these bottles as a mixture, as to mix up my dye, so that as to limit the usage of those chemicals. Okay, let's go on the process. We are back to the process of tie and dye. So you can see on my gloves, and my fabrics are here. That is the jacket and the a t-shirt. Okay, the first thing we're doing now is, before we mix the chemicals, is we have to soak our clothes. Soaking them in the sense that we have to make them damp. That's not okay, like dipping it inside water and squeezing it just to feel the wetness, but not wet and the water should be dropping. It's just for water to enter the cloth. The reason why we are doing that is of two reasons. One of the reasons is to wash away the industrial starch. That is the first reason. And the other reason is for easy penetration of the dye after we have mixing. So for it to be easy to penetrate. So now we will be making our fabric damp. We are putting it, and we are so we'll be pouring water inside to make it damp. Maybe during the damping process, we will just leave it inside and mix our dye. Okay, so let's just put it by the side. Okay, now let us mix our dye. Let's mix our dye. Okay, for this dyeing process, we'll be making use of four chemicals. That's four colors. That is, we're making use of red, purple, navy blue, and an orange. Yeah, an orange. And the main reason why I mentioned this before at the beginning of the video is this will allow us to manage our dye and chemicals. So now let us go into the mixing of dye. So like I said earlier, we'll be making use of four colors. That is, we are mixing four bottles. So, and again, another thing you have to take notice, you have to label your bottles. You have to label them. You can see I didn't label, but I make a sign of not allowing my bottles to look alike. Like this one, this first one is a Coca-Cola bottle, but you can see I script the label. This one is American Cola. This is a Coca-Cola bottle, but still with the whole label. And this is a Pepsi bottle. It's just for me to differentiate the whole colors from it, because if you mix all your colors, everything looks the same thing until you start to apply to the fabric, that you know that okay, this is blue, this is navy blue, this is sky blue. But since the chemicals are still inside this bottle mixed, everything looks black. Okay, so now we will be mixing our chemicals. So okay, the first thing, this is the first chemical to mix is your sulfite, hydrosulfite, and the caustic soda. But first of all, apply mix your sulfite first before the caustic soda, because the caustic soda, whenever it come in contact with water, it begins to react, it begins to get hot. So most times I pour the sulfite first before adding the caustic soda. So okay, now so let's go. Okay, the first thing you have to, since you'll be using a bottle, get yourself a funnel too, so you can easily pour. You get, so because you want to be pouring like this, it might fall off. So this is it, and this is okay. This is like a remnant of a sulfite I've used before. So this is it, and for you to mix it, this is the measurement. So you have to like jot down, jot. So for the measurement, this is a small spoon. Is same thing as those white little tablespoon. Or if you don't have that, you can also use the big iron spoon, not the cooking type, with the iron spoon they use in eating. But the main thing is, you know, the mixing of chemicals depend on the amount of clothes you want to dye. If the fabric we are dyeing is a lengthy fabric, like of 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, I won't be using this process. I won't be using it because I have to like mix my chemicals into a big bath, because this process is mostly for t-shirts. And let me just say it's mostly, it's depend on the designs. Maybe in another tutorial videos we'll be teaching you guys on different design and how to dye them. But this particular video is mainly on how to dye a fabric. So this is another topic for another day. So okay, so now you'll be using the measurements based on what we want to dye. It's just two jackets. That's sorry, it's just a jacket and a t-shirt. So we will take, to be on the safer side, this is the spoon we are using for the measurement. Okay, we can, that is the hydrosulfite first. You take 2.5 spoon of it. Okay, don't forget, you have to use your nose marks. I just remember, so I have to use. So I should have worn a glove on this my hand, but I'm doing other processing, which I'll be needing my direct contacts, my finger contact on them. So this is a spoon. This is another one. Okay, is it has finished, so I have to take a new sulfite. I have a new one I bought, so I have to peel it off and pour the last one. That's let's just say 2.5. It's not really half, just let's say 2.5 plus quarter. So that's it. So now I'll pick up my sulfite. This is my sulfite. Is, like I said, is the one I used earlier for a client. So instead of cutting new one, I have to like go through the old one. So this is the sulfite. Sulfite, you have to take 1.5 or mostly 2, because most times the sulfite is always more than the caustic soda. So that's this one and these two. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of the caustic soda. So this is it. So this is the first color, which is purple. So that means purple is on the American color bottle. So this is my purple. And most times, if you want a dark color, the more the color, the lesser the water. And if you want a light color, that is the lesser the color, the more the water. That is the get. Everything is to get a light color or a dark color of the color which you are using. So now I'm using a purple. I'm using a purple. So this is the measurement you can take for making it. To make it, like I said earlier, is depending on you. If you want the color to be very dark, you take more of the color and lesser of water. And if it's a vice versa, the less the more the water, the lesser the. So this is first one. So I'm pouring one and a half because I want it to be a little bit thicker. So that is the other one. Let's just put a little bit, like an half. So let's say two, because my spoons were not full. It were not full. So let's just say 2 spoons of the color. So I've mixed it. So it's now for me to pour my water. But using this technique, you have to use the ordinary water. Don't use hot water, because the sulfite, if you are trying it at home, after doing all this before the water, try to touch the bottom of the, but you can see it's a little bit hot. So pouring hot water also might destroy the bottle, making it to break, making it to break, and the color will start to like split out. But most times I use ordinary water, because after pouring ordinary water also, you see that if you touch the bottle, you still feel the hotness. So this is it. I'm pouring the water. So don't allow the water to full, because you still have to like shake, because the chemicals are still under. So you don't pour the water to fill the bottle, just a little bit close to the top of the bottle, so you can have means to shake it off. So it's just as if you are using a stick to mix the whole bottle together, or you are wearing a rubber glove, and trying to mix. If you're on a surgical glove, you can't put your hand and mix, because the hotness might be too hot for the surgical glove to contain. So most times, using this technique, you have to like shake. Okay. Okay. So now let's go into mixing the other colors. Okay. So now I've mixed the whole 4 chemicals, and okay, you can see all of them looks the same. But since I was able, like I said earlier, you can get a paper tape, use it to write the names of the colors, to avoid not knowing which is which. So this one on this Coca-Cola bottle is the orange. Then this on this Pepsi bottle is the navy blue. Then this on this American Cola bottle is the purple. While this on this is the red. So now you want to go. And another tip, if you want to identify that, okay, this this chemical I mixed is a little bit dark, or is it dark or is it light, check it from the bubbles. If you look at this American Cola, this is purple. If you look at the bubbles are very dark purple. So it shows that, okay, this purple is very dark. If I add little water to it, the water I keep adding, the lighter it keeps becoming, like I said. So now it is time for us to go into the process. Okay, like I said, this is, I call it a tube, is to apply the dye on it. So now I have to open, and this is my funnel. I put my funnel on it. Okay, remember, if I'm also doing other things, that is why I'm not putting on the other glove. Though I have water here for me to quickly watch my hand in case if there is a contact with my hand. Though I also have a rag to clean off any contact. But if you are doing it at home, you have to get yourself a two gloves. It's either the rubber glove or the surgical glove, which I'm presently using. So now let us go into the whole process. So the first color which I'll be using is the red. You can also shake in case if those chemicals have settled down. So now I will have to pour my, because I can't be applying like this. It's my waste. So that's why I'm getting myself a tube. Remember I told you earlier that if you don't have this exact tube, you can, okay, like example of what you can use. If you have a tailor around, there is this oil plastic. Oil plastic is red in color. If you can get that also, you are good to go. Just find anything you can use to apply your colors on fabric, then you are good to go. So now this is it. This is it. This is it. So remember, be careful. Don't allow those dye to fall off. So now this design I'm doing is like is a is an unknown design, but you know, arts, the work of art is something so creative. You can think about anything to design. Mostly you have to think about it to bring it back to life. No, now me, I've thought about the design, so I want to bring it to life. Is okay, let me just give you a tip of what we want to do. Is a is a This is a jacket which we are doing, and is a denim jacket which we have different colors on the body. That is the main reason why we are using four colors. So on this jacket, we'll be having four colors on it, making it beautiful more than the white. You know, art is about recreation. So now we are trying to recreate this jacket into a beautiful one. So now let's go. So I've mixed the red. So now I apply the red to different directions, different angles of the cloth. Don't worry, as time goes on, I will bring it, I'll bring the camera a little bit closer for you to see what I'm doing. This is, and sometimes is you can also make the design as a marble design, because instead of me to marble the whole clothes, but I just decided to like leave it like this and apply the chemicals and apply the color in different angles of the cloth. So that is how it is being done. That is the whole dyeing process. Okay. Okay. This is this is purple. I'm trying to apply the purple. You can see it after applying on the clothes, it looks a little bit different. You can see that is the purple which I told you earlier about. Okay, that is the purple. You can see that is the purple. That is the purple. Okay, just wait till the end and we will go into the other process, because this whole tutorial is the process of completing a tie and dye process, and which is, just stay tuned and let us see what it becomes of our thing. Okay, you can see it's already coming out in another dimension. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, now look at, this is, you can see that the orange, the orange, the red, then the purple. Then this is the navy blue. You can see how dark the navy blue is. So this is what we are trying to say. So now after this process is then we are going to the process of raising. So but after you have to complete your fabric like this, you have to just leave it for, let's say, like 1 to 2 hours, or not even more than that. But the thing there is, if I go outside now to do the washing process, the raising process, the dye is already on the fabric, is already there. But it's just for it to just stay fine and stay cool, to avoid washing off. But just for the dye to stay on the cloth for some time. Just we can just leave it for like some hours or for some minutes. Now let's say, let's just round it up to like 1 hour. Then in 1 hour's time we will come back and do the raising and do the. So we are done dyeing. All the colors has been applied to the jacket. So now we want to rinse. Remember what I told you earlier about cotton and non-cotton materials. So we are going to check now. But don't be scared. When rinsing, you see the color, the water turning into black, black. Those are just the, will I say, the wastage, because all the colors you apply on this, all the dye you apply on this, most of them will not stay on the cloth. So those that are not staying on the cloth are the ones being washed away. So now let's go. So and remember, if you are going all through all this process, if you are practicing, remember, let there be enough water, because tie and dye uses more water. Because now, see, you have to keep on watching this jacket till the jacket, till the water coming out from the jacket becomes white. It must be white. If it's not white, if you are doing it for a particular vendor and the rain fell, you know what will happen. So let's wash. So you can see running water, it will be so good for you. So you can see if the cloth is not cutting, as I'm washing, as I'm rinsing, the it will be removing, those are, the dye will be removing. But since this jacket is a cotton material, you can see as I'm washing, as I'm rinsing, the thing, the the colors are still on the cloth. Okay, see what I said. You can see, don't be scared, that this exactly will happen, because you are washing away the excess, let's say excess. So that's it. And if you follow us from the beginning, you can see how we started and how we ended the whole process. You can see, look at the jackets. The jackets are ready for the clients. So now you have to go and spread on the line. After spreading, then you can iron and get ready to be sewed off. You can use it as a gift if that is your motive of the whole thing. You can use it as a gift. You can use it, you can even make it for yourself also. Style it in a modernized way, and you know that it is good. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media, the Adire guy, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and we are good to go. Thank you for watching.